This is Amancio Ortega. He built his apparel retail empire Inditex from one store in A Coruña to over 7,000 stores across the globe in a few decades, briefly becoming the richest person in the world in 2016, before relinquishing the top position to Bill Gates by the end of the trading day. Despite this level of success, Ortega avoids the media at all cost and has not given a single interview to the press. Once calling traditional media advertising a pointless distraction, his aversion of the media extends to Inditex's flagship brand, ZARA. ZARA spends less than 0.5% of its revenues on advertising, compared to over 20% for many of its competitors. It chooses to focus its resources on retail outlets, design, technology, and a remarkably responsive supply chain instead. At the forefront of fast fashion, ZARA discovered early that footfalls depend on location and the window design as much as advertising. It invests heavily in prime real estate next to high-end brands such as Chanel and Prada. The shop windows are refreshed every 2 weeks to keep customers coming back. Its average customer visits ZARA stores 30 times a year, compared to just over 5 times for other brands. Designs in the store are replenished even more frequently. New items arrive twice a week, compared to once every 3 or 6 months for competitors, giving ZARA 104 selling seasons instead of 2 to 4. ZARA's trendy designs are borderline replicas of A-list catwalk hits, tweaked just enough to avoid copyright infringements. When Christian Louboutin sued ZARA for imitating its infamous red-soled high-heel shoes, a French court ruled in favour of ZARA. While the industry has moved towards outsourcing to low-cost countries with an average hourly wage of 40 euro cents, ZARA maintains most of its manufacturing in Spain and Portugal, with an average hourly wage of 8 euros. Other global brands opt for smaller, geographically distributed warehouses. ZARA manages most of its global shipments from a single 5.3 million square foot, highly automated facility called the Cube in A Coruña, that dwarfs Amazon's largest warehouse at 3.6 million square feet. Their design and production teams are all co-located with the Cube. Cloth sourced from Italy arrives within days of an order being placed. Manufacturing facilities are linked to the Cube via underground monorail tunnels. Empowered to iterate fast, ZARA's designers churn out over 60,000 unique designs per year. Items go from initial sketch to store shelves in 3 weeks, while the industry averages 6 months. Platform designs with common elements enable existing items to be redesigned based on customer data and store manager feedback, new versions hitting store shelves within 2 weeks. ZARA holds only 3 days of inventory in its stores, while others hold as much as 7 weeks. ZARA sells most of its inventory at full price. Fewer than 10% of items are unsold by the end of the selling season, leaving little room for discounted sales. Discounts abound for ZARA's competitors, and nearly 20% of stock is left unsold. ZARA's business model proved resilient to the COVID-19 pandemic, quickly ramping up the online portion of its sales to over 75%. In the face of lockdowns and distancing measures, ZARA was able to surpass its pre-pandemic sales figures by the second quarter of 2021. Marta Ortega, Amancio's daughter, who took over the reins in April 2022, has been working at Inditex for the past decade and is acutely aware of various challenges. Among them, the rise of sustainable fashion, increasing input costs, and the increasing frequency of supply chain disruptions. ZARA, fast, agile and responsive, the brand that incurs higher costs, charges lower prices, yet makes industry-leading profits.